It is fitting that in Texas, they are beefing up. The Dallas Cowboys snag the monstrous Michigan man, Mazi Smith, with the 27th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. I'm Peter Bukowski, joined by Locked On Cowboys host Landon McCool. Before we dig into Mazi, Locked On NFL Drafts coverage provided by the Ultimate Football GM. You think you can run an NFL franchise? Visit ultimate-gm.com to play the Ultimate NFL GM simulation game. Start your dynasty today. And maybe, just maybe, Jerry Jones will give you a shot. Landon, let's talk about Mazi Smith, because this is a player who is enormous and provides some, I think, much needed beef up the middle for the Cowboys. Where do you see him fitting in?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, the thing that's surprising about this is that the Cowboys have been almost allergic to drafting defensive tackles. I think this is the first one that they've taken in the first round in 30 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Russell Maryland, I think, was the last defensive tackle I can definitely name off the top of my head in the first round. So I think, yeah. And honestly, for the Cowboys, it's a spot where many of their fans have felt like it's been the hole in this defense, that they haven't invested at the position. They've kind of cobbled together defensive tackle play with defensive ends that they've reduced. So to have a guy like this who can be an elite and dominant force in the middle, be an elite run stopper, and then potentially push the pocket a little bit, this is the kind of guy that the Cowboys needed to kind of fit that final piece in a defense that has ascended the last two seasons.
And I think a little bit underrated as a pass rusher. If he's going to get one-on-one blocks because you have to send extra attention at Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence, like maybe he gives you a little bit more as a pass rusher than you expect. It's not like they don't have bodies with Jonathan Hankins, who they brought back in there. So where do you see him fitting in? Is this just early downs? You know, basically the opposite of a situational pass rusher. This is a first and second down guy to start.
No, I don't think it's necessarily just limited to that. I mean, this is a guy that on Bruce Feldman's list, he does a list every single year for all the freaks in college football called the Freaks list, right? And he was number one this year. And I think he can do more than just be a guy who can physically bully centers. I think he can get off the ball. Look, he had only a half sack. We mentioned that, but he tied the next. I mean, he was tied for the lead with QB hits for Michigan last year. So it's not like he's not getting his hand on the quarterback or he's not affecting the quarterback. That is happening. And I think maybe with a little bit better coaching and maybe just a little bit better usage for his skill set as far as a pass rusher goes, maybe he gets more production there for the Cowboys.
Was there another position you thought they might be going here? I know Michael Mayer was a popular landing spot here with Dallas. Or is it, hey, second round, this is a loaded tight end class? It seems like that might be the thinking here.
I think they were targeting Kincaid. I think the other name that they're really interested in, despite I think Mayer they like as well, but Laporta is someone that I've heard that they've had strong interest as well. I think that they got to this pick, saw that all the guys they wanted were there, including most of the tight ends except for Kincaid, and they just decided maybe we can wait until 58 to get our tight end the way that this draft is falling, and we'll go get the guy that we want to kind of be the finishing piece for this defense.
Is there another position other than tight end that you think Dallas could address? This is one of the most complete rosters in the league, so it's not like they've got these glaring needs all over the place. Where do you think they could find some value on day two?
I've said since before the draft that if the Cowboys were able to pull off drafting Steve Avila at 58, that would be the kind of piece de resistance of the Cowboys. It would just be the finishing touch of this. You get a guy that kind of finalizes a little bit what you want to do along the offensive line. I mean, especially since the Eagles are going to go out and draft Jalen Carter, you might as well get another kind of bigger guard to go in to kind of counteract that. Outside of that, I think they can draft pretty cleanly, because you're right. They've done a really good job of filling out their roster needs, and really, I think they're just going to pick for value at that point.
For more on the Cowboys draft and all things Cowboys, subscribe to Locked On Cowboys on YouTube and wherever you get podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Landon, thanks.